Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this process video. And today I want to demonstrate how to create this lovely flower in vases mixed media technique. And as you can see, I repeated the same technique 7 different times in slight differences in colors and shapes of the vases, and created a full set to go on this wall. So the first thing that you want to do is take a very light printer weight paper and just randomly cover it with paint. The paint I used are different pastels. I used 4 different sheets, and you can see there's no rhyme or reason why I'm putting those colors there. I'm just blending them with a brush, a roller, some spatter patterns, and just creating moments that later I'm really gonna need just a very small part of this paper. So just do whatever you want as far as the color thing goes. And here I'm using some bright yellows and pinks just to give it a little bit more. Then I took some chipboard, it's 3 by 8.5, and I'm covering it with my palette knife and some white acrylic paint, a yellow ochre, and burnt sienna. I'm going over it with a little bit of green and other shades on the bottom just to give it different movements. Not everything goes up or down, it goes side to side. And you can also remove some paints here and there just to create a little bit of texture. I'm drying the paint that I have on my palette, and then I'm adding more white to it. And now I'm crinkling the paper with my paints on just to give it again more texture. So the paper is damp, and once it dries it becomes a little bit more tough. Then you want to cut out some just oval shapes that will create the petals for the flowers. And I'm making sure I have them in different color themes. So I go from yellow to orange to pink, purple, blue, ochre, sort of like a rainbow, but in pastels. And then I'm adding them onto the board with some gel medium. And I'm also cutting circles to go into the center of the flower. So there are 7 petals, and you can do different shapes if you like. When that is done, just take the paint that you added and scrape it off your palette, and now you have those crumbs of paint. We will be using those later. Now I'm taking a piece of white sheet and I'm painting with a lot of burnt sienna and yellow ochre with some shades of green. This is for the flower vases. Then when it's dry, you turn it over, paint different shaped vases, as you can see, random shapes, and then cut those out. When they're cut, you want to put them over, you're going to glue them onto the board. And now I'm gluing the crumbs onto the bottom. So you're gonna get a little bit of texture there, and you're gonna have those crumbs in different colors, and that's okay. Just spread it around any way you want, any way you see fit. So you can see like the different colors coming through. The next step is to paint the stems and the leaves. Take the same colors that you have, just dilute it with a lot of water, and pull your brush through and create leaves and stems in different saturation on your brush. After it dries, you want to seal it. So take your gel medium, clear gel medium, and seal everything well together. You can do 1 or 2 coats. Next, I put it on the board and I applied burnt amber liquid acrylic around all the edges, and I saturated it with a lot of low water in order for it to sip onto the edges of my of my canvas, of my mini canvases. After that, I let it dry, and you'll get a little bit of a vintage look. These are boards. I have cut boards at 6 inches by 11, and with glue I'm applying just regular scrapbook paper that is with the same basic shades of my painting. I am adhering it really well to the board, and then I do the same thing to all 7 because I have made 7 mini canvases. So this will be the background for it. I'm spreading the glue, and you can see I was very generous with the glue that I'm using, and it's a strong, fast drying PVA, so you have to be kind of quick with that. You can later go ahead and distress the edges if you want after the glue dries, and you can paint the edges in the same raw amber paint. I did not use the same color, kind of paper, just to give it more interesting textures. And with antique white, I go and I put some of it in the center of it with my roller. I'm rolling it around, and I'm not adding any water, so it gives it a little bit of a shabby look. I did the same thing to all 7 boards. And now you want to go ahead and adhere your mini canvases onto the background using again some gel medium. And because it was saturated, the board itself is not 100% flat, which is okay with me because I don't like anything to be too flat. I like to have a little bit of movement there. But you still want to put it aside and let it dry quite well. And it's almost done, and I decided that the image itself in some areas was not defined enough, and I want to go ahead and give it more definition. And doing that, I took some black pens. They're permanent pens with different widths, but they're very, very fine, and I just sketch around the flowers and around the stems, and I give it a little bit definition. And I'm not really overthinking it too much, and I'm not doing the whole thing, just where I think it needed it, around the leaves, around the petals, the bottom of the pot. So if you have a chance, take a look at the photos of the finished flowers, and take a look on them in a close-up, and you'll be able to see all of my sketching. If you're not sure where to sketch and how to sketch, you can just go around it, and it's gonna be perfectly okay. So once you're done making 1 or 3 or 5 or 7, as in my case with this particular piece, you can go ahead and either put it on a canvas if it's small enough, or just on the wall right next to each other, or you can frame it. The sky's the limit. I like leaving it like that, as you can see in the picture that I took. And you can go back to the beginning of the video and take a closer look. Okay, well, this concludes my demonstration. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and that you were able to learn something new, maybe get inspired, and then you can take it and make it your own. I really hope that you'll be able to share with me what you made. I love to see what others make. And with that, I want to thank you again for stopping by and watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Have a good day, everybody.